I saw this one fucking meme of it's like one guy laughing and another guy staring at the other guy from behind him in a movie theater, and the guy laughing was titled "Me enjoying Joker a bit too much." The guy behind him was like the undercover police officer seeing me enjoy Joker too much. Like because I remember honestly I do remember I'm surprised none of people brought this up, but do you guys remember I think it was when The Dark Knight came out, someone actually did dress as Joker and shoot the theater.
That was The Dark Knight, right?
That was during the catalyst.
That was Dark Knight Rises?
It was a guy dressed up as Batman during The Dark Knight Rises.
Oh, they dressed up as Joker.
He I don't know if he shot it up. I think he booby trapped the theater or something.
No, he just entered and shot it up.
Oh, okay, rolls, yeah. Alright.
Alright, so you guys ready to get started?
Damn right, bitches.
Yeah.
I apologize for my throat. I sound like I'm Advantage.
Were you kissing Elsa again?
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Advantage.
Is that something you do, Raul? Do I have to kill you now?
No. Advantage. David can't know if I'm angry at him or just sick. Disadvantage.
What? All that passive-aggressive energy? No, what? Can't be mad.
Disadvantage. I sound like a fucking chain smoker.
You are a chain smoker.
That is true.
Bro, I didn't know you smoke chains, Raul. What the fuck?
Yeah, I know. It's I love getting high off the vapors of nickels and other aluminum metals.
Yeah, man. All that iron in your lungs is gonna fuck you up, man.
Yeah, I know. The planet's fucked, so might as well end it soon.
Yeah, but the planet is not fucked as fast as you are fucked.
Oh my god.
Even though we're all saying the planet's dying, we can probably still finish our lifespans and be alright. Next generation, I don't know about that.
I don't know, let's see. But yeah.
Who's eating chips? What's that crumpling?
That is me popping halls like gumdrops.
Ah, yes.
If I don't want any ugly coughing in this. But yeah. What's worse
How were you last night?
I was a lot better than this, but because it was so cold and I slept here, my throat ain't what it used to be.
Y'all mind if I fall asleep again?
I swear to God, Nathan.
It is noon. Noon. What the fuck? I'd be very confused.
Yo, fucking so Rahul, when I asked Nathan, I said all right, we're doing this at 1 p.m. and this man's like, tomorrow? And then I'm like, no, today, you idiot. Monday?
Yeah. All right. So
why don't we reschedule on Tuesday because I'm off on Tuesday.
I actually have one class on Tuesday.
I don't care about your class.
No, I have a midterm on Wednesday, so
get fucked.
I'm with you. My time is fuck. I got work tonight. I got work tomorrow night. I got work the day after that, and I got school. Actually, on Tuesday, I could actually do some stuff because I have one class from 2 to 4. You know.
I was just joking.
I mean, we're all here now, so.
Yeah. All right. Hello.
Should we do the audio test first?
Oh, for fuck's sakes.
Yeah, I already did it. We should be good.
Excellent.
Yeah. All right. So, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another Lone Colony podcast. I apologize for the voice. I can't really speak all too loud unless I want to cough up blood, which already happened. So, yeah, might as well.
Jesus, Raul. Don't want to hear about how you're dying. I want to hear about Godzilla, goddammit.
Yes. Infected with radiation poisoning, which explains a lot of the symptoms. It is I, Reaper Reptiles. Joining us once again is our native resident, Filthy Degenerate. Can't tell what the fuck time is, David. AKA the Radioactive Octopus. Returning from the Godzilla anime podcast, actually. Still hailing in Texas. He's the only daredevil who's willing to eat a ghost pepper. But, yeah, that's...
Carolina Reaper, not ghost pepper.
Yeah, true. Which I think is worse. Nathan Hales from Hales Entertainment. Now, joining us for the first time on the podcast.
Say the right name this time, I swear to God.
Well, not that you say it like that. A good personal friend of mine from high school. He is an advocate for anime's waifu body pillows everywhere.
I don't own one yet, but I will soon, just to let y'all know.
Oh, God. Excuse me.
You're killing Rahul, man.
He is a resident of Out of Mind Inc., which we'll leave links down in the description. Ladies and gentlemen, my good friend, Lee T. Simba. Not
See, you said it
Samamba.
fucking right this time. It wasn't fucking hard. Hey guys, I'm Lee. I've known Raul and David and Nathan for quite some time because we've tried to film this podcast like 6 or 5 times. And,
Yeah, this is the 5th attempt. Yesterday was the 4th. The 3rd, 2nd.
was a while back. Like,
Yeah.
basically, I didn't know Nathan before doing this podcast, and I've done it 6 times. He's like my brother. He's like, I know this man.
His white brother from Texas.
And yeah, I got I feel like no one did introductions when they were introduced, but I don't know. I'm not that big into Godzilla. I've only seen the 2014 and this movie, so my opinion is the new.
Poser.
I'm not a poser. You're a poser.
Yeah.
You don't even like Godzilla. You just watch all the movies.
Well, I don't think me and Dave and Nathan have to reestablish ourselves in terms of where we stand with the franchise. I mean,
We already had 2 podcasts on Godzilla.
yeah. So if you guys want to check
Nathan was
those out,
in there.
if you guys want to check those out, check out the playlist.
I'm legally engaged to Mothra.
Ah, yes.
Get the fuck out.
So before we start, I just want to ask you guys, when was the last time you saw this movie?
A couple days ago.
Yesterday morning.
Last week.
All right, I just finished watching it, so we're all kind of refreshed. Which is
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
I didn't actually watch it. I just watched the commentary.
That's even better.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah. Same. I've learned a lot of things from the commentary now. There was one detail that I was so confused about, but after watching the commentary, I feel like a complete idiot now.
Care to show us what that detail is? You're going to do it later.
We'll do it like when we start talking about the film, but I think, so basically, we'll talk about the whole film. We'll go by the events in it a little at a time. We'll talk about other factors like soundtrack, actors, what we think overall, and give our final verdicts. But first, I really want to talk about the hype that surrounded this film because it's both very strange but also tragic in a way.
Tragic.
Yeah, it's so I don't know where to begin. Should we start with Comic-Con 2014 or should we just skip ahead to the first trailer?
I'd actually say
Comic-Con 2014. How does it? Every time we do this podcast, I learn something new I didn't from the last one.
Alright, so basically, after Godzilla 2014, released in May, the following Comic-Con in the same year, Legendary held a panel discussing the success of 2014, but at the same time, they announced King of the Monsters on the floor on that day.
I think what's ironic is I remember because this was like the hype died down for 2014 and people were settling in their thoughts. And I remember when that came out, people were actually like Godzilla fans were excited for all the new monsters. However, they announced it, but some people had doubt that it was like written in stone.
Yeah.
I mean, like, then it was announced, but people were just like, is it really, though?
Yeah, I remember that, even though, by all means, they had the trademarks and all.
Yeah.
Also, I remember people being concerned that this one, because at the time, Gareth Edwards was back to direct, so people were concerned that it would pull the same continuous cutaways from the monster stuff that 2014 became infamous for.
Yeah.
And this one did the exact same thing too.
Yeah, we'll get to that soon. Oh god. Oh fuck.
What the fuck was that, Raul? I swear to God, he's gonna die before this podcast is over. He sounds like he's not okay.
No, we must go
No.
on.
That's normal for all.
Yeah,
No.
but like, as far as this, like, wait, Nathan, do you know a lot about? I guess you guys know about this because I can pretty much only stay silent right now because you guys talking about all this hype build up, which I wasn't really there for. I was just told new Godzilla movie, great, saw it, great. That's all. This is from far as I know that happened before the movie.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. Because whenever I told people that there was going to be a new Godzilla movie coming out, because here's the thing, between 2014 and King of the Monsters, there have been a total of 4 other Godzilla films that were released. Like one of them was Shin Godzilla.
We don't talk about the other 3.
Whenever I mentioned Shin
Those are
Godzilla, people got confused thinking I was talking about the sequel for King of the Monsters. Wait, no, sorry, for 2014. It was kind of fun, like, hey, have you heard of the new Godzilla movie coming out? Oh yeah, is it the sequel to 2014? No. What?
What? There's different versions of this franchise?
No, yes.
I mean, even that's a bit unusual for most franchises.
A little bit, yeah. Although, if you look at comic books, there's always reiterations, alternate
Yeah, but comic
universes.
books aren't movies.
Yeah.
But they are also media. They're still media.
Although you could argue that because how many interpretations of Batman are there? Because you have the Nolan trilogy, you also have Tim Burton's Batman, and now
There's like 25. There's like 25 to 50 versions of Batman.
Yeah, but we
in
didn't have
comics.
a different version of Batman in between those movies, though.
Yeah, exactly. Like one
Well, actually-
version would end, and then the next one would start.
Although
Well, actually, that's not for the live action stuff. I'm pretty sure, like, for the animated Batmans, there's been a version of that going on.
Yeah,
Doing the Batman.
yeah, with the animated ones, but animated aren't like this big ongoing franchise that
Yeah.
everyone knows about.
yeah,
Well, they
so-
should, because I think some of the DC animated movies are better than the DC EU movies.
That's a
not an
podcast
argument.
topic for another day.
This is
That's
yeah.
not even an argument. That's a fact.
That's true.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on, because what are we even talking about right now?
Yeah, we were talking about how I guess the public was a little confused between 2014 and King of the Monsters, but yeah. So yeah, as time went on, hype was slowly building up. There were a lot of theories being thrown around. Like there was even a time where people stated that they weren't going to use all 3 monsters that they said they had the licenses for. I know Matt Frank was pretty prominent on that, saying how, oh, you believe that all 3 monsters are going to be in the same film, which ultimately was the case.
Eat shit, Matt Frank.
Yeah,
We love you.
I don't love Matt Frank.
but yeah, usually these characters can't really survive without Godzilla anymore. Mothra maybe, but Ghidorah and Rodan, they've been so infused with the franchise that I feel it's kind of impossible to give them their own standalone films right now. Maybe.
And especially not in the West,
Yeah, especially that.
I don't even think Mothra would be able to.
No, I don't think so either.
But
I
yeah.
think, like, Godzilla and King Kong, they're the ones that can make it by themselves right now.
Yeah,
King
And-
Kong isn't in the Godzilla franchise.
and
Oh, sorry.
He is now.
That I didn't know. I'm not discussing, but I just meant, like, that are associated with these kind of gigantic monsters. I feel like
yeah,
those two were the ones that can make it right now.
no, Lee's completely right. King Kong does have a more prevalent name than Rodan or Ghidorah. Usually when I'm talking to people, no one really knew who those characters were. And
They know Godzilla and Mothra, and that's like it.
Yeah, but speaking
You know,
of
King Kong.
Kong Skull Island came out in 2017, which was 3 to 4 years after 2014. And that gave us our very first glimpse at Ghidorah, Mothra, and Rodan for King of Monsters.
Drawings of them, anyway.
Yeah, just acknowledging that they're there. And then after that, there was a whole viral campaign showing the timeline of Monarch, stating, in 2006 they discovered Mothra's temple, and then in 1996 they discovered Rodan in Isla de Mara, and
2016, they discovered Ghidorah, the largest Titan ever discovered, frozen in ice, with the codename Monster Zero. And I'm sorry, I stole your pedestal.
I mean, no, you're right. I was gonna mention the 2014 event and then Ghidorah, but yeah.
I just really wanted to say that. That was an awesome timeline. That was like one of my favorite parts of the marketing. Like the way they built up Alan Jonah too in it. Oh my god, he sounded so badass. The mercenary.
I was kind of confused about the London smog though.
Everyone thought it was Hedorah because of the mentioning of smog, but it said like wing beats and stuff. So
yeah,
Ghidorah.
Mothra.
I don't know.
Because it can't be Rodan.
Maybe because in the movie, you remember that deleted scene mentioned about the twins, and they're like we were them at one point.
Yeah, we'll save that for later.
Okay.
Yeah.
But this is crazy. Psychopathic Alex Jonesing right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway,
Hollow Earth, man. Hollow Earth.
Yeah. Anyway, so as time went on, we finally got our first trailer in 2018 Comic-Con. Which 2018
Which so 4 years after they announced this movie was coming.
Yeah. So
yeah, that sounds like a movie.
Yeah, if the film has went through a lot of changes actually. Originally Gareth Edwards wanted to direct, but then he went to direct Star Wars. So they decided to wait on him, but then he decided to drop out and go back to indie films.
He fucking bailed hardcore, like goddamn.
And then the co-writer for King of the Monsters, Mike Dougherty, was actually, it's funny because at first it was rumored that he would be the director. And he went on record saying how, no, he wasn't going to be the director, that Warner Bros. And Legendary didn't come to him. But then, I think a couple of months after that, he was signed on to be the director. Lucky bastard. But yeah, he ended up being the director, and there was definitely a lot of back and forth in terms of concepts.
Just a minuscule detail. Do y'all remember when it was originally just going to be called Godzilla King of Monsters?
Honestly, I think that's just people who misheard the title or misread it.
No, I'm serious. And then Michael Dougherty actually pushed for them to call it King of the Monsters.
I don't think that's how it happened.
I remember when it was Godzilla 2.
Yep. But yeah.
I remember back when it was untitled Godzilla 2014 sequel.
Yeah.
Those were the days.
Those were the days.
Those were better days. Anyway.
Well, I didn't say they're better days. You think it's better titled than King of the Monsters? Huh? You don't like this title?
Yes, I mean, Deadpool 2 could have really benefited from being called the Untitled Deadpool sequel.
That would have actually been freaking hilarious.
Deadpool King of the Monsters, like...
Shut up.
These are good titles.
Alright, anyway. So yeah, first trailer dropped in Comic-Con. Reactions were overwhelmingly positive, with a lot of people commenting on the panel, but YouTubers started jumping on the bandwagon as well, even though YouTube is a completely different environment than it was now compared to 2014. But yeah, they jumped on, but it's safe to say a few people let go as time went on.
I mean, it came in and made a big splash, but like all eyes were towards Comic-Con at the time, right?
Yeah.
So of course everyone would see it.
But not everybody. Like, what I meant is that after the Comic-Con trailer dropped, and then we got the second trailer, you could definitely like the hype was still there, but as time went on, as we started getting closer to the TV spot section of the advertisements for the movie, you could kind of sense a bit of a decline of interest in the general public. And
were you like this, Travel? Did you have like the kind of interest like everyone else, or were you always hyped?
oh no, I was always hyped. Like
Bro.
I was always looking forward to the next thing, like the next poster, the next piece of merchandise, the next trailer. And if anything, I was really on top of it, constantly sharing with David and some other people. Like, usually with trailers, I will just post it, tag everybody, but then after the second trailer, I just kind of, yeah, you know what, just
Mm.
Yeah, you wouldn't stop. I was serious with some of my other friends. They're like, damn, you just won't stop posting. Borderline endless.
Yeah.
So when you drop the trailer, cause like, I like when a new trailer comes out, you wouldn't just like drop the trailer and tagging people. You drop the trailer and tag 70% of your friends' list. It's like, oh, you niggas must know that Godzilla is coming.
Yeah.
All the time. You tag 70 people in a damn Facebook post.
And then you kept resharing shit, just like...
Yes.
We only have like 5
Unapologetically.
reactions.
I mean, I'm not gonna do the same for Godzilla versus Kong, honestly.
I dare you. I dare you to go through all that effort to tag 70 people to only have 5 likes on the post. I fucking dare you.
No, I'm not gonna do it.
I was hyped too, but I kept my shit to like me and Rahul.
Yeah.
And I talked to some of my friends about it, but like, and you.
Yeah.
I just said like talk to
Barely you.
other friends. But yeah, I mean I don't share shit on Facebook usually, so.
So yeah, you know what? Let's round down to like that one growing hit, in terms of the marketing. Like they were really pushing and showing a lot of things that we probably shouldn't have seen, which would have been a great surprise for the film itself, but nah. Anyway.
I think the biggest mistake was seeing burning Godzilla, and that would have been a great surprise.
Yeah, we'll get to that soon. But yeah, like one thing that
It's been like 20 minutes and you're still talking about the hype for the movie.
Yeah, I'm on the last part. Don't worry. So yeah, week before.
Bro, I gotta go to work in 5 minutes.
Leave, Nathan. Leave.
Nathan, shut your ass up and sit down. We got more Godzilla to discuss.
But yeah, Rotten Tomatoes came out with their initial reviews for the film, and ooh boy.
They were hanging around the 60s for a while, but it just got lower and lower. Then it went up a bit, then it got lower, and it settled on like a 41.
Yeah.
I actually believed it would have gotten up to like a 65 or something and just like settled there, and then my heart died.
Yeah.
It should also be mentioned that at this time, like the internet communities were really like hyping it up and getting into it to a fever pitch. It was actually insane. There was literally a meme that was like, you bought the tickets. Like buying tickets for King of the Monsters was a meme.
Yeah.
Man, what the frick? What, really?
Yeah.
Well, explain this to me. It's like you bought the tickets. Does that make you?
No,
mad?
it's like just bought my tickets to Godzilla 2014. Godzilla King of the Monsters, rated PG-13. Really,
Oh yeah.
like directed by Michael Dorter. Just like this fucking long ass pose.
What the frick? The memes of you Godzilla people are. I don't want to say
This was outside. This is the best part. This was outside the Godzilla community when this started.
Oh, I guess just like in kind of the movie community when talking about Godzilla.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
the kind of the online cinema community was like actually pretty hyped.
Yeah.
Well, that is interesting.
And yeah, I guess that pretty much sums up the whole hype surrounding the film between 2014 and now. Yeah, I guess we could start talking about the film now. Alright, so how this is going to work is I'm just going to walk by the events of the film one by one, and if you have anything to say
Wait, pause. Raul, did you just tell me you're about to summarize the entire fucking movie?
Yes.
This is a spoiler podcast. Anyone who kind of gives a shit has probably seen the movie. We don't need to do that. Well, I dare you to try. Let's break it down scene by scene. What's that first scene about to break down for me? We start off in some man.
All right, calm down.
We're Millie Bobby Brown.
All right, so the film opens up with a flashback in San Francisco as the Halo jumpers descend on San Francisco, and we see Mark, Emma, and Madison.
And don't forget the worst CGI model of Godzilla 2014 they had in their backlogs.
Actually, that wasn't Godzilla 2014. That was the 2019 design. You could tell because some of the spines are a lot bigger and more jagged.
Yeah, although they're still a bit smaller than they are like later. I think they probably just took that model, tried to scale down the spines to hide it.
If anything, I think they just tried to mess around with the perspective.
Yeah.
And
it's still, for whatever reason, just a horrible model.
Yeah. Here's something kind of terrible that I kind of noticed. You know how they lost the sun in that opening shot? If you listen carefully, you could actually hear him screaming in the background for Mark.
Squish.
Well, that's sad for him.
Yeah. Anyway, we cut back to present day, 5 years after the events of 2014. And, who's calling?
I'm getting a bullshit call.
We fast forward to 2019, where Emma is watching the news regarding, well, let's just say that everyone knows about San Francisco. No shit. And, the world is really angry. They think that monsters don't deserve to exist, that they all should be killed. There were protests outside of Washington, and, just the general social order is on the verge of collapse, I want to say. And there's also a summit with Congress between Monarch and the U.S. military, trying to discuss whether Monarch should be under U.S. Designation. And
No, I think it was to decide if the monsters should be under the jurisdiction of the military.
Yeah, and whether they should live or die. But before we get into those juicy bits, Mothra awakens, and I found this out during the director's commentary, but because the main reason why she changes color between blue and red is actually in reference to the original Mothra larvas in previous films, where if the adult Mothra dies in front of them, their eyes change from blue to red, signifying that they're angry. Which is done here as well, except it's not just her eyes, it's her whole goddamn body. Yes, because bioluminescence.
Because glowy things.
Yeah. So we're introduced to the film's MacGuffin, the Orca, which sends out sound waves that replicates.
Should you explain like it's a device?
Yeah, it's a device.
It's called a MacGuffin. The fuck's a MacGuffin?
Just something to move the plot along.
All right.
I think David could describe it better.
Hey, actually, I saw the movie recently as well. Allow me to describe it. So then speaking, the Orca was this device that was made by Kurt and I believe Emma Russell back in, I think they described it like for when they're in university, something to like talk to whales to control them. But now it was kind of, what's the word? After Kurt Russell destroyed it though, Emma remade it though, and is adjusting it so it works on the kaiju.
Yeah.
To communicate and or control them, I believe.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird. I think they call it the alpha call, and I think the idea is for most monsters it makes them submissive. For the alpha tier monsters, it attracts them because they want to fight it.
Yeah. No,
That's what they look at it. I didn't know Kurt was saying because when he found out that they that she remade the Orca, he's like, this is a terrible idea because you put in the wrong signals. You could like set a monster off. So I got the vibe more that wasn't even about like depending on who it is, they may be more submissive, more
Well, if you use it, I think it's like you use it on Alpha. That Alpha becomes cheesed and will fucking like go wreck everything in its path to get to it.
Can I just add a few things first? Lee, it's not Kurt, it's Mark.
Wait, who's Kurt?
Wait, weren't you saying Kurt?
Yeah, I said Kurt, but who the fuck is he?
No, it's not Kurt, it's Mark.
Who's Kurt then?
No one. No one's Kurt.
There's no Kurt Russell in this film.
No, it's just Mark Russell, Madison, and...
It's Mark Russell. He thought it was Kurt Russell.
Alright, guys, I'm gonna put on these clown shoes. See y'all later. It's been a great podcast.
And one more thing, right after they calm Mothra down, Alan Jonah walks in, aka Tyrion. Wait, no, not Tyrion. Fuck. Tywin Lannister from Game of Thrones walks in, kidnaps Emma and Madison, and then we switch to the boardroom meeting where they're like, we need to destroy the monsters. No, we can't. Oh wait, shit, something went down in China, and then Sarazawa, Vivian Graham, and that guy from Silicon Valley just left.
That boardroom scene was the first sign of trouble in terms of the quality of dialogue we were about to get. Because that whole time, like, God bless, Ken Watanabe is a great actor. I'm fucking enthralled whenever he talks, but Jesus Christ, everything he's saying is bullshit.
Come on, he was saying we should become the pets of Godzilla, man. I think he had the right idea.
Yeah, you know what? Maybe he did have the right idea. This is not shit you say to Congress.
That's a good point. This nigga should have lied.
True.
This is like I'm sitting there like I could have like even I could have fucking came up with some shit to tell them like you could tell them, oh, we know there's a couple, but what if we kill one and like it's stopping more from coming out or some shit, right? There's actually a lot of logical arguments they could probably make as to why you shouldn't just start wanton killing these things, right?
Yeah.
But, like, no, they're trying to go with this kind of sentimental shit where it's like, oh, some of them want to protect us. It's like, well, fucking, they don't give a shit. Godzilla will protect us. Godzilla made, like, people. He don't really give a fuck about human buildings.
Yeah,
that's true. He probably caused a lot of destruction in fucking Godzilla 2014. Just want to say, no, Godzilla's here to protect us. He fucked this entire city with other monsters to defend us. Regardless of if it's the truth, it doesn't sound good.
Yeah, there are mans in that building he fucking squished.
Yeah, and
do we need to mention little babies?
Yes, babies.
But yeah, in the continuity of the Monsterverse, because of the whole San Francisco battle, San Francisco has been abandoned.
Wait, really?
Yeah. You see it later in the... Yeah, we'll talk about it a little more later because they do touch on it. So, yeah. So after the whole conversation in the cabin about the Orca, Monarch flies Mark to Castle Bravo, which is the main base of operations for Monarch. And
wait, really?
Yeah, they described it. Yeah, they described it as their flagship.
I'm just messing around.
Stop. Anyway, from there we get a quick breakdown of Alan Jonah, and Mark kind of states how they're probably.
My bad. I still left the call.
Oh god.
Don't worry about it. Continue, Raul. Continue.
Yeah, so Mark is stating how they're probably going after a larger kaiju rather than going back for Mothra. And they are. They're heading to Outpost, I think it's 62 or 52. It's a reference to the thing, alright? I haven't watched it. But yeah, they head to the Antarctic Outpost and they find the Golden Demise, the three-headed Hydra, King Ghidorah. And yeah, as they're setting charges, Godzilla just suddenly goes ballistic and intercepts Castle Bravo, which I think artists that I follow describe the scene perfectly. He's giving us a threat display, but not not for us, but the thing in Antarctica.
They say that in the movie.
Yeah.
They're
No,
like,
no,
oh,
like,
it's not
like,
for us.
yeah, no, like the idea is, why is he doing the threat display there when he should be in Antarctica for King Ghidorah to see?
Oh. Oh.
Like, yeah, he's right here in the middle of the Bermuda, but he's giving a threat display for something in Antarctica. But yeah, I think it would have been better if they kind of acknowledged that, oh, maybe he's warning us of something. Because I do like the idea that Godzilla acknowledges that we exist.
You know what?
Like,
Acknowledging us is nice, but I think there's a line to cross when it's when there's acknowledgement and then there's communicating.
yeah, but it's all about attempting. Like, dogs would usually bark and whine at us to try and signify something. Trying to warn us of something.
Why didn't
Okay.
Godzilla just knock on the glass and be like, knock, knock, knock,
Because he knows better than that.
Is that a reference I'm supposed to understand?
No.
No, it's just Nathan
Good.
being Nathan. But yeah, so
I mean, this always comes down to that. When does this King of the Monsters Godzilla become too different in personality-wise to the 2014 Godzilla?
yeah,
I mean, 2014 was like an animal, and this one was like a.
So yeah, he'll
being.
protect us. He'll kill other monsters that are far worse. But 2014 Godzilla, he noticed us, but he didn't really give a shit, and I kind of liked that.
yeah. So yeah, so after making a dashing escape, the Monarch operatives realize that he's heading towards Antarctica. And then they decided to go there, and this is where we're introduced to one of the major set pieces, the Argo. Anyway, that's when they start talking about King Ghidorah, like how he's a recent discovery, how he was a potential rival alpha to Godzilla, and how they probably fought for dominance for millions of years. Anyway, they touch down in Antarctica. Alan, and there's like a sequence where it kind of makes you forget that you're watching a monster movie for just a brief second, because you
Oh,
see.
hold on, back a bit. Before they touched that in Antarctica, are you sure that's when they were talking about when Ghidorah and Godzilla were enemies? I don't think it was.
No, it's just like very brief. They were talking about how.
No, 'cause I remember them talking about prophecies and were they saying something about how they couldn't find Godzilla in any prophecies, people were too afraid to write about him?
Oh no! They were no. That was Ghidorah, and yeah, I was talking about that scene.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay, because when you were talking about them being rivals, I thought that came a bit after talking about them being rivals.
Yeah, no, they touched upon it a little bit. They didn't go into too much detail until later, though.
Alright.
Yeah, so they pretty much summarized Ghidorah in that scene in the Argo. So yeah, they go to Antarctica, military fight the eco-terrorists. Mark confronts Emma, and surprise, surprise, big reveal, Emma is the bad guy the whole time.
Okay, wait, before you go into this, I just want to break down. I actually really did like this scene. I was rewatching it yesterday because, the way it happens, I think is just really cool. Because, as far as we're concerned, the Russell women, they're they're kidnapped. It's oh no, we have to go save them. When he's finally here to save them, I remember him talking about how he regretted seeing his daughter when he was in that bad state, drinking so much, and he's finally just like, hey, I'm okay. What's her name? Madison, come here. It's okay. It's coming to me. And she's like, Dad, and she wants to approach her, and the mom was like, don't do it. Then she backs up, and they release Ghidorah. I'm like, what the fuck? I was so shook. I was like, what? No, he's here to save you. What the fuck's happening? I thought the way they did was pretty good. It was very dramatic. I think that was good acting on Millie Bobby Brown.
Yeah. I wish the reasoning was a little better, which we'll get to a little bit, but yeah,
Once it's revealed. At the time, we didn't know the reasoning at all. It's what the fuck is going on?
Yeah,
What?
but I know what you're talking about. I like how they kind of keep their intentions secret. Oh, this is Alan Jonah's plan, but then, oh my god, Emma, what are you doing? And then
it becomes Emma. What the fuck are you doing?
yeah.
But actually, I'm confused because like I'm still confused on how this happened. Was the whole thing that like Alan Jonah was always working with Emma, or did he kidnap?
No.
and then
Emma wanted. She had this plan where it's like we're gonna release them one by one, and people are gonna go into bunkers, and they will all be fucking cavemen in like the jungle with the things walking around. And it's like, you can help me, and he's like, yes, we can help you because we just don't like people.
Yeah.
Like they're saying that Emma's the one who had the plan.
She had the plan, and then the plan went wrong, and then it's like, and then Jonah's like, "What?" Back and she's like, "What did I expect?"
We're getting ahead of ourselves. I just want to figure out though, like from that first scene in the movie, like when they like they're like soothing Mothra, and then Alan Jonah comes in and like kills fucking everybody. Did Emma know about that?
Yeah.
That's what I want to know.
Actually, yeah. There was a little foreshadowing because you kind of see her talking to one of the scientists on site, saying, "Oh, you must be tired. You should probably go rest." That was her attempt to make sure he doesn't get freaking offed.
She didn't care that much. Clearly,
it's like just a little bit. You should be tired. No, I'm fine. Okay.
Oh well,
fine, I guess.
Yeah.
Fuck you then.
She tried. She tried.
An attempt was made.
But yeah, anyway.
We're getting a bit ahead of ourselves, all right. So after like Ghidorah's breaking from the ice, Raul, will let you take it from there?
Yeah, so they free Ghidorah, and straight from the get-go, intimidating motherfucker. Absolutely. He has a great entrance, honestly. Just, his tail slowly rising out of the pit, and then each head individually starts rising up, just staring down the soldiers. And you kind of see the reactions on Errol. Errol is kind of really confused, but also knowing, yeah, we're totally fucked. And, I remember how, before the film came out, they were talking about how Ghidorah's heads have different personalities. And I was really going into this not really thinking of seeing those personalities really shining. But from the get-go, you kind of get the personalities of each head. Like, the left head, as the soldiers are firing at him, he doesn't go down, like, biting every single one of them or blasting them with his gravity beam. He just kind of goes down, very curious. He nuzzles one with his chin, and then the middle head kind of gets him back in line. And you kind of see the right head, too, is just very, very angry about the whole situation, which I think is so great. And there are more moments like this later on. But, yeah, Ghidorah kills a great majority of the soldiers, takes out the osprey that Mark's in. And, yeah, it looks like this is the end of the line for most of the Monarch agents. And then all of a sudden, Ghidorah just suddenly stops. He's reacting to something. He's looking around. Yeah, he's looking around. And it's actually stated in the commentary how they wanted Godzilla and Ghidorah to react to each other like this. Kind of stating how they've fought before, which I think is done really well. And then, yeah, Godzilla appears, and they fight.
The track "Old Rivals" is great. How the music, like when the music starts swelling.
Bam, 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 bam.
Godzilla, yeah. This action
that's a bit odd. Oh, sorry. Just something that's kind of odd, like because we've seen some. You guys ever seen like in a movie? And I say so because you've seen this movie where like there's people with guns trying to fire against something where the guns are just not clearly working, but they're still firing the guns like it's gonna do something. Like I remember like people with like guns with up to Ghidorah's face, and these guys not even flinching, and they're not even like really stepping back. They're just like keep firing. It might work eventually. Everyone wants to get fucking wrecked and killed.
Dude, I would freaking run away, but I don't know. Maybe soldiers are. I know in combat that the military is trained not to back away like that, but I think I would take off running.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's like if I'm firing something with like my artillery and my guns, and it's not even flinching, I'm gone. I don't care who's there. You are all dead to me.
Yeah.
They didn't have any artillery.
They start running.
Not fast enough.
But like, But like I was saying, this action scene once another sign of trouble when like it's a fun action scene when the action's on screen, but there's as much cutting away in this scene as there is in 2014. I mean, like you never really get too much time to sink in the imagery of the monsters fighting before you're back on to the plane or something.
Yeah.
Actually, on that note, I'm confused because how did this fight end again? Like, even though I watched it, like, did Godzilla fall into like a did Godzilla fall into a pit?
He fell through the ice, then he kind of swam under, popped up somewhere else, and Ghidorah got spooked, I guess, and ran away.
Yeah, when the Argo showed up with its fighter jets, it kind of disoriented Ghidorah a little bit. And actually, Godzilla fell down the same pit Ghidorah was in. And
okay.
Yeah, you could tell because of the glowing coming out of it. But yeah, after he climbed out, Ghidorah kind of figured, yeah, this is a little too much, and he just buggered off.
Oh, really? Because in my theory, I feel like after Ghidorah saw Godzilla fall down the pit, it'd be like, ha, dumbass. Then he flew away just because.
No, Godzilla's right there when Ghidorah flies off. He even tries to grab him.
Yeah, he charges.
Oh, yeah, because he does come out of the pit eventually. That's right.
Yeah, and before we go on, we should probably mention the one major character death that happens here. Poor Vivian Graham just gets fucking chomped.
You know what? If the movie didn't give a shit. Why should we?
Actually,
in the commentary, Michael Dougherty tried to make it seem as this big emotional scene. He's like, we wanted to show that there could be real stakes with killing off major characters.
Yeah.
No one gives a shit about these characters. Like,
the only reason I know these people's names is because, like, after I saw it, I'm just like, let me look up everyone's name and I have it now. That's why I know Alan Jonah. I know Kurt Russell.
There's one great character death. That's a lot later.
But yeah, actually, speaking of Vivian Graham, they kind of mentioned in the commentary how they reshot a lot of scenes with her. And because she was originally not supposed to be in the, I think the boardroom scene with the Congress, and she wasn't there in Mark's cabin when they try to bring him back. The first time we ever see her was actually in Castle Bravo. But because she dies so suddenly, they decided to implement her in those beginning scenes.
So it was like, let's just make her, so let's make everyone give a shit. And nobody gave a shit.
Actually, yeah, that's exactly it. That's the exact reasons why they did those reshoots with her.
Yeah, not the worst character, but like...
I'm sorry, looking at her now, it's like, she kind of looked familiar. I don't really give a fuck. I didn't even know if she fucking died, to be honest. Like,
yeah. Actually, yeah, a lot of people didn't know she died.
I didn't know she died.
I don't know who the fuck she is. Like,
yeah,
I didn't know she died at first. I just heard screaming and Ghidorah bites like a piece of ice. I'm like, oh, some more soldiers died.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. I didn't know.
Yeah. Alright, anyway, after that, all the characters disperse. Emma is heading towards Isla Damara. The Monarch operatives are following her as well, and so is Godzilla. Ghidorah is nowhere to be found, however. He kind of disappeared in a tropical storm that suddenly appeared. More on that a little later. So yeah.
After completing his global crusade of wiping out the fish fuckers.
But yeah, now this is when things start getting a little dicey. This is when when Emma reveals her great plan. I say great plan very, very lightly, by the way. You can't see it, but I'm putting air quotes over great plan.
Actually, if I'm being real, I don't think it was a bad plan. I just think that, like, we don't want to fuck shit up. Like, he really did.
It's a bad plan because later it's like, oh, maybe I did do the wrong thing, and it's like, so you didn't think about this before. Any microsecond of thinking about this plan should make anyone go, yeah, no.
Yeah,
I mean, like, here's the thing, because I think the problem is, like, I can see why the world would reject this plan, because morally speaking, it's essentially still encouraging the death of a lot of people and destruction. It's like a kind of thing of, like, I don't know, even though they're going to die, it's for the greater good, because, you know, all this kaiju radiation is going to help the world, and grass is going to grow, and blah, blah, blah. But things like, the plan fucked up because, as you know, Ghidorah woke everybody the fuck up at the same time.
Yeah, we'll get that. We'll get there soon. Like we still have.
The plan?
Even if the morality wasn't very questionable, there's still also the fact that like you got to think. I wonder how this could go wrong. There's like a couple million things that could go wrong with this.
Yeah, only a couple million people right now. You know, we always make more people.
Yeah, I think she was under the impression that that they would be able to release each kaiju individually and control them with the orca. But then when Ghidorah takes charge after... Actually, no, I'm getting way ahead of myself. I need to get to my favorite sequence. God damn it.
I mean, it's fine, because I still don't know why we're going through the movie chronologically. Especially when we're doing spoilers across the way.
Yeah, and I mean, that's all. We'll just keep going. All right.
We haven't even done this any other podcast. Does anyone find that odd?
Yeah,
we did. The thing is, me and Rahul kind of did this when we did the Jurassic World Evolution podcast, where we went through like the games released and then the DLCs individually.
Just bit by bit.
Arguably the best podcast to date.
Let's try and recreate that then. Continue, Raul. Let's this fucking movie.
So, she reveals her plan. Everyone's like, no, that's dumb, that's stupid. And then everyone in the film was like, no, that's dumb, that's stupid.
And then she goes, maybe that was dumb and stupid.
Yeah, so Madison kind of questions it. And in the commentary, they kind of, which I'm pretty sure all you got this, but like Madison and Jonah were kind of Emma's conscious, like Madison going, no, we shouldn't do this. We should at least let the people get to safety. And then Alan Jonah's
and
like,
then,
no,
I'm sorry, did you just
wake it up, goddammit. Yeah, exactly. So
and then Alan Jonah's like, nah, fuck these people. This is fine.
Emma, you came to me.
He's such a cartoon villain, like honestly.
Yeah, he is. Which is kind of a shame because he's really good in Game of Thrones, right?
But you know how it is, right? We want to seem more important. Throw in a British actor, top tier British actor to play some bullshit.
Yeah. All right. Anyway. Oh wait, yeah, you go, Lee.
No, y'all know he's an alien, right?
He's Canadian?
He's an alien.
No.
Shut up.
He's a Canadian.
No, all right, now.
Canadian, alien, same thing, really.
Yeah.
Yep. Build that wall. Keep all the Canadians out.
Yeah, you're trying to say something?
Yeah, alright, anyway. Isla Damara, they wake up Rodan, and this is arguably the best sequence in the film, where Rodan is taking out fighter jets left and right, unknowingly obliterates a city, and there is one thing I'm kind of disappointed.
It slides along the water.
Yeah. There is one thing I'm kind of disappointed of the sequence. I feel that they could have utilized the volcano a lot more than they did.
Yeah.
Like
the other... Oh, no, you finish?
Like, comparing this to something like Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, which had a great eruption sequence, in my opinion. And I was really hoping for something similar for Rodan's Awakening, but all we got is just, spewing lava. Like, at least get some debris from the volcano, which you see flying off, land on some houses or some people. Just...
on some people.
Just, emphasize the fact that Rodan is literally a flying volcanic pyroclastic flow, in a way. I guess that's what I was hoping for.
The other issue, and this is mostly for first time seeing it, is that every shot in that whole sequence is in the trailers. You could probably take those trailer shots and just rebuild that whole scene. You might be missing a shot or two.
I already did that.
Jesus.
That's very
yeah. So that was pretty disheartening. It's like, wow, I thought there was gonna be a bit more to this. But...
Yeah. But yeah, anyway.
And it's the one action scene that's not in the dark, not in thunderstorms and shit.
And they don't cut away from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, yeah.
Yeah,
They
it's
just
probably
let Rodan do his thing.
has a great, a very like unique, great track with the angry bongos
Yeah, the angry bongos. But yeah, so Rodan flies out for the Argo. He takes out the fighter jets that are trying to engage in him, and we get a great showcase of his abilities. Like in the original films, he was always able to take out any kind of aircraft just by flying over it, and it just instantaneously explodes. And they kind
That
of
would have been so cool to see that too. Just
No, they did do that. Like, as a squadron of fighter jets broke off from the Argo, turned around, and then shot at Rodan. Rodan didn't like that a lot, so he got really close to the squadron, and just before the squadron can turn off, he just, blasted high off into the air, letting out a sonic boom that just destroyed the squadron.
I don't remember seeing that part.
I did. It's when he like suddenly he claps his wings and he shoots up and the camera jolts up with him.
Yeah, that's the one. So yeah.
Oh, I guess I wasn't paying attention to that. I don't know.
So yeah, after mingling with
after the best action scene in the movie, we get the worst, the most wasted potential, probably.
Yeah,
like I've seen a super brief fight of Rodan fighting King Ghidorah in the air, which would have been awesome to see more of. And then after that, we get a really brief fight of Godzilla fighting King Ghidorah underwater, which also could have been way more awesome.
Hold up. I just need to add a few things because they stated very significantly in the commentary track how, we've never really seen two monsters fighting in the air. Then let us see it.
We haven't really seen it. Anyway.
Like, the closest we ever got to this in the original films was when Rodan headbutts Ghidorah and Ghidorah the three-headed monster and then Ghidorah just falls. But yeah, definitely wasted potential there, but I will say this. The shot of Rodan just charging at Ghidorah, and you see their silhouettes behind the clouds. Masterful. Absolutely love that shot.
My favorite shot is also in the scene. It's actually the first. It's ironically the first trailer shot of Ghidorah, where he's flying and he rears up, and then he's illuminated, like his shadow is illuminated by the lightning. That's my favorite shot. It's such a great shot.
Yeah, it's so. Yeah, it's very horror-esque. Love that shot as well.
But you're wrong. It's not the first shot in the trailer, Daniel.
No, not the first shot of the trailer. The first time we see King Ghidorah in that first trailer. Yeah,
that's not the first.
Okay, outside of ice.
Okay.
So yeah, they tussle a little bit, and here's where one of my complaints for King of the Monsters kind of shines a bit. So Ghidorah defeats Rodan. The Argo was able to get an Osprey in before it fell out of the sky. And you see Ghidorah charging at the Argo. Everyone is dumbfounded. And then all of a sudden, like a spawning salmon, Godzilla just jumps out of the water, tackles Ghidorah.
It just kind of. I wish we saw. You know what? I'm mad at that shot because I wish we saw the wide version of that. I want to see him just leap.
Here's where one of my major complaints for King of the Monsters jumps in. Godzilla is way too agile and fast in this film. Now
it's so stupid, but I would kill to see that. The wide shot of that, just to see him like.
But yeah, anyway, the one reason why I don't like it is because this Godzilla definitely seems a lot different compared to 2014. With 2014, he's very slow, he lumbers around, but this one...
He barely leave the water without causing a tsunami. Like, the way the water moves around his spikes in 2014, it's so much.
Yeah, but now he's just like a completely different animal. This Godzilla seems a lot younger, a lot more energized. While the one in 2014, you could kind of tell that his days are numbered. He's old, he's seen it all, and he's just kind of ready to, just punch out. But this one is like, yeah, I'm back in the fray, bitches.
And they did say it's like, oh yeah, this Godzilla, he's been up a while, so he's like juiced up a bit. But I think we needed, I guess, like the cliche is like the fucking old samurai who could fucking kick your ass.
Yeah.
That's what it should have been, but it was definitely felt like no, like this is just kind of a young Godzilla.
Yeah. But you know, I will say this: like after he gets hit with the nuke, which we'll get to later, his speed is a lot more forgivable. But yeah, we'll get to that soon. So yeah, Godzilla, Ghidorah wrestle in the water, which definitely one of the worst, one of the more terrible fight sequences.
Yeah, it's so camera so close, and I'm actually thinking right now. Imagine like they could have done some really cool underwater wide shots of that fight happening.
Yeah, kind of emphasizing. Yeah, these things are big, but you kind of see the vastness of the ocean.
I'm just imagining this shot. Imagine like a wide shot. The bottom of the screen is the darkness of the ocean. The top is illuminated by the sky. You just see them tussling, going deeper.
That's what I was really hoping for. I was really hoping for something like the concept art they showed off in the previous Comic-Cons, actually. Or yeah, there was concept art of them fighting underwater. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then the worst example of fan service I have seen this year.
Definitely the worst Easter egg this film has to offer.
Boom.
Oxygen destroyer, yeah.
They should have just called it the deoxygenizer. That way, it wouldn't have been so unforgivable.
No, excuse me.
Because wasn't it originally supposed to be called the deoxygenizer?
No, I don't think so.
The deoxygenizer.
No, the early leak.
Terrible.
The early leaked scripts called it the oxygen destroyer.
Where did I hear deoxygenizer then?
Some fan page that had human kaiju furries.
Yeah, did no one think of making the names for these things actually cool?
Sorry, Lee?
Did no one think of making the names for these things actually cool? Was it the deoxygenizer? What the fuck?
I don't know. I could see how that could be appeasing to child, but nah.
It's like, the deoxygenizer, what does it do? It deoxygenizes the target. Ooh. What?
But yeah, anyway, the military launches an oxygen destroyer, which I felt could have been done so much better if there was just mere mention of it at the board meeting, or just give it a little more build up instead of just name dropping it. Because in case you guys don't know, the oxygen destroyer is a very prevalent weapon in the Godzilla lore. The only weapon, as of now, that ever successfully killed Godzilla.
Well, when you say killed Godzilla, do you mean killed Godzilla or what they did in this movie?
No, they legitimately killed him. He was a skeleton. Yeah,
like the first time they ever used the oxygen destroyer in the Godzilla lore, it reduced Godzilla into nothing but a skeleton.
Oh, damn. Was he the bad guy in that movie at least?
Yeah. No. He was like, oh, wait. Are you talking about Godzilla?
No, I'm talking about the movie where they killed him with the oxygen destroyer. Oxygenizer. I forgot the fuck it was called.
Yeah, oxygen destroyer.
Was he at least a bad Godzilla in that movie?
Yeah, he was.
No. Well, good.
Well, no, not really. He was a victim of nuclear warfare.
Yeah, so he just kind of seeked vengeance on mankind, but then, you know,
it's fine. As long as he's the antagonist, it's fine.
Honestly, it's a really good movie. You should check it out.
Maybe I will.
Yeah.
After I watch it. But good, we're moving on.
Yeah, so they hit Godzilla with the oxygen destroyer. Oh yeah, before they do hit Godzilla with the oxygen destroyer, Godzilla rips off Best Boy. Poor Kevin gets decapitated. And
maybe that's why he's so dumb. Like he's always the first to go.
No, yeah, I believe that too. Although I don't know, because Ichi Ni, the right head, actually has a chip on his horn.
I will say, right? I the more I think about it, we all love Kevin. Kevin is Best Boy, right?
Yeah.
But man, does it not really work with the menace that King Ghidorah is supposed to have?
No, you're right. It does make him more of a charismatic character than anything else. like in the director's commentary, actually, they kind of mentioned how Kevin is kind of the goofball, but because of his brothers, they make him do terrible things.
He's like, he'd actually be a cool kaiju that
Because
you could
by all
play with.
means, most scenes, like there are scenes where the heads are acting differently. Those are great, but most scenes they're acting in unison as the evil dragon.
Yeah. Honestly, I feel that the meme of Kevin kind of destroyed the menace because in the film, while yes, he does seem curious in that first initial scene, but after that, we never got a moment like that.
You're right. Outside that first scene, they all really act the same.
There is the exception of when the Argo flies by, he looks back at it, but then again, he's just looking in a general direction. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, Kevin gets ripped off. They hit Godzilla and Ghidorah with the oxygen destroyer, but surprise, surprise, Ghidorah is completely fine. And I don't know if this is true. Godzilla dies because it's implied in the film that he dies, but I'm not sure.
Well, they say they can't find his heartbeat, but then the other guy says that like they lose track of him when he goes into the Hollow Earth.
Yeah, exactly my point.
I don't think he's dead. Like, I'm pretty sure he did die. Because you know from later, wasn't his eyes still looking, and was he looking at Sarah's out on the face? Like,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
Well, he was already in regen mode by then.
Yeah.
Was it?
They found him again. So I think what we're all trying to get is like, did he die and come back to life in the Hollow Earth, or when you say it like that, it seems more likely that when his vital signs went quiet, it's because he entered the Hollow Earth and they lost him.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Or it could be like, you guys know that one comment, you know, the death of Superman, like how they thought, oh no, Superman died, but he didn't die. His heart rate just slowed down to like once every fucking week or something like that until he recovered.
Yeah.
I mean, I do know they did help him out. It's not like he did it by himself, though, but you know.
Yeah.
He never, but that's just my theory.
You know, I think it's safe to say that's how it went. Just, you know, Godzilla got hit, he got super weak, so he decided, you know what, let's just call it a day. And as he tried to return home, they just lost sight of him. That's it. But yeah, anyway, we're revealed one of Ghidorah's new abilities in this film, which I think was seen in Rebirth of Mothra 3, but he regenerates Kevin back. Yay! And,
the most precious boy returns.
Yeah, I'm kind of glad that I didn't.
It's a very horrific scene if you look closely. Like,
yeah, you kind of like see the bones emerging and just slowly all the muscle tendons and skin just regenerating on. It's pretty sick, but I love the scene.
I think it looks kind of wonky, to be honest. Like, it just the CGI on it doesn't look so fantastic. It looks a bit animated to me.
I mean, yeah, it isn't every day you see something regenerate from the bone to.
Yeah, like the tendrils come out and then like the skin grows around it. It's pretty wild.
Yeah.
Almost like a zombie like thing.
Oh yeah, very much like a zombie. That was one of the first things I got out of that scene.
Wait, when we say like a zombie, how? Because zombies don't really regenerate.
No, we're talking more so just the imagery. Like, you know, all the muscle tissue and the bone just exposed as Kevin regenerates.
Can you imagine an actual zombie Ghidorah, though?
Dangerville, get on it.
That sounds awful. When I see zombie things that aren't humans, it's like, I don't know, I just think that shit's awful for some reason. I can't even explain it.
No, I kind of get that, yeah. But yeah,
I mean, zombie dogs isn't bad though.
Yeah,
but you know.
You know, I love how this.
Whose dog is barking?
That'd be my dog.
You should have gone and punched it in the face. But wait, not a hard punch though. That'd be dog abuse. Just like a small punch, so you know that you're the alpha dog around here.
Yeah. Anyway,
that you know you're the alpha dog.
Anyway, yeah, absolutely love that scene. That definitely caught me off guard when Godzilla ripped off Ghidorah's
I
head.
was spoiled by the most random source. I was going through the RT reviews, just kind of seeing what people were thinking, and ironically, one of the positive reviews, it's like not even the full review. They have those little excerpts that you can read on RT, where it's just like a sentence or two, and in that sentence, he is like, King Ghidorah is real menacing with those regenerating heads. I'm like, regenerating what now?
So yeah, so Ghidorah regenerates Kevin. He lets out a large alpha call, and this wakes up the 17 plus Titans that are hidden around the world. We see Scylla in Arizona. We see Methuselah in Munich, Germany, and yeah, dialogue beyond that point kind of states how, oh my god, they're all awakening. We also get Mothra coming out of her cocoon, which is also a very great sequence with the music and imagery.
Did you see the video I sent you?
Yes. Yes, I
So
did.
cheesy.
Gorgeous.
Gorgeous. But yeah,
I remember Daniel sent me a clip of it when he was watching it. I'm like, that's
No,
cheesy.
I said it to the chat. Like
Oh, that was the chat.
yeah.
Whoops, I thought
Yeah.
I was special.
anyway, yeah, after that, we're getting to the scene that Lee was talking about, how they were talking about how Ghidorah was an alien, which I'm very appreciative of. One of the things I was really concerned about the film was how most of these monsters are kind of very fantasious, like Mothra with her fairies, and Ghidorah being an alien, but I feel they pulled
They
it
both
off
have
well here. What about you guys?
I actually
mean-
wanted when I already told Daniel about this. I thought it would have been cooler if they didn't just say, yeah, he's an alien. I think it would have been like more mysterious and kind of menacing if they just alluded to it, like how they talk about in ancient prophecies, speak of how a fireball or this being, this entity fell from the stars, this devil fell from, and I don't know.
I'm about to show what you mean is that because it still kind of sounds like you're still saying an alien, but instead of saying an alien, talk about how they know he's an alien because he fell from the fucking stars. So I think it would have been cool.
No. What I'm saying is like they don't ever find like a definitive origin for him. Wait, what am I saying now? I lost my train of thought.
Yeah.
I think what Nathan was trying to get at is instead of just simply name dropping that he's an alien, just kind of allude to it. You just be ambiguous when you say it. Like, legend speaks of an ancient Hydra that descended from the stars, and just leave it at that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, none they say like legend speaks of Ghidorah and he's an alien, and I felt like that was the vibe I kind of got from where they're taking it. But like, it could have been cool if like what's the word? This is like I actually did not think of this thought till just now, but like, what if instead of like them realizing he's an alien because they found the scriptures or whatever or something like that, what if like at some point this is gonna sound terrible because no guy's no father would like this, but like, what if like Ghidorah fucking like transformed or like had some gigantic mutation? Like let's say like after his head grew back, he like made like a new kind of mutation of his body that kind of changed a bit, and then he flies away, and everyone's like, "What the fuck was that?" Because they realized the Ghidorah that they thought they knew wasn't this one, and this one itself is an alien. But apparently, Ghidorah's always been an alien though, so that wouldn't have made that much sense in the context. But I feel like it would have been kind of cool to be like, "Psych! It wasn't the Ghidorah we thought the entire time. It's some new beast." But why is the mic right now? I don't want to say. I actually really did like that part of like the prophecy that like the plan itself, even though we roasted it a little bit, it's like slowly wake up the kaiju one by one and control it, which has flaws because they don't know how to control all the kaiju. And Ghidorah fucked it up, not necessarily because like he was what were you describing as again? Was it alpha or like an aggressive? I think. Yeah, even though like that may have been why I felt like if Ghidorah wasn't an alien and it wasn't evolved, the plan may have actually gone according to plan so far. But it seems like so far it was fucked up because Ghidorah was an alien species and he fucked up the ecosystem. Which I kind of feel like I think that's a cool idea because that's the thing that like in nature on Earth and other things like bringing in predators, invasive species, they can really fuck up the ecosystem.
Here's the thing. I really liked that they called him an invasive species. That was very clever. Yeah. In terms of calling him an alien, I think I would have appreciated like that a lot more if it kept that 2014 tone. But by this point in the movie, the tone's been set. It's like
Yeah.
some monster, just a big dumb monster action movie. So them calling him an alien wasn't really a risk at that point. It's just like, all right, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a risk. Like, I don't think it was necessary. It's more so just like, I like how they did say that he wasn't able to just kind of explain why the planet's fucking up because he's in Mesospheres in that sense.
Yeah.
No,
Being the alien was.
I like how they also I mean, you could kind of, like the alien story does work because like especially the way that he acts in terms of like, oh, he has 3 heads, each head has a separate thing. Because I was just thinking about that as like, imagine like the mechanics of motor control with 3 brains. 3 individual thinking brains in one body. Like, that is a very alien concept.
Yeah. Actually,
and him being immune to the oxygen destroyer was also very clever.
Hey Nathan, why are you typing?
I'm typing.
Yeah, it says you're typing.
I'm not typing.
I'm not even typing.
I know you didn't accuse me, but I'm not typing.
Yeah. All right. So, actually, here are a couple of things from the film's novelization stating. So apparently, Ghidorah is one of a species, and I'm not sure if this is 100%, but apparently, he's the runt of the litter.
Where did you read that at, or where did you hear that at? I thought it was in the commentary, and it wasn't.
No, it was in the Wikizilla podcast that they did for their subscriber special. I'm not sure if it's 100% because they also mentioned something about the end fight, which we'll get to soon. But yeah, they kind of talked about how Ghidorah was, he was just an individual of a much larger ecosystem with a variety of similar species as him. And he was described to be the runt of his species. And then he kind of decided to bugger off and claim the planet for himself. Which I kind of like, assuming it's canon, which we'll talk about the validity of that a little later, but yeah. Shall we?
Dude, I just had a thought. Can I share it?
I had a bunch of thoughts. Go on.
Okay, so you know how Kevin's head gets severed in Mexico?
Yeah.
And exposed Dr. is immune to it, having this thought, and it's been rotting for. What if, because they're gonna do something with that head. What if they reactivate the regeneration process in it, and it's like a psycho Ghidorah? Like
Psycho?
Yeah, because his brain. Like, what if he's just insane? Like, the most horrific version of Ghidorah yet.
Raul, can you hear Nathan? Was he cutting out?
Yeah, he was cutting out.
I could hear him.
Recording, so like, you can hear him? Okay, say that one more time for us, Nathan.
Ghidorah's head has been rotting for weeks. And what if they go this route, reactivate it, and he regenerates his body? What if, because his rotted brain, he's just like this psycho Ghidorah, like the most horrific, like you know how the Joker just goes on rampage shit and kills a bunch of. What if this Ghidorah is like the worst incarnation yet?
Maybe, but I mean, we're cutting a head to friggin'
Godzilla versus Kong.
I'm not talking about Godzilla versus Kong.
Wait, what? Actually, no. I feel like what you're saying that could be. The problem is like I actually don't like what you're saying. Not because I don't think it's possible. It's just like that's not the kind of Ghidorah I want to see, man. I want to see Ghidorah who's a cyborg and shit. You know what I mean?
Oh, Mecha King Ghidorah.
I want to see Mecha King.
Yeah,
that's not gonna happen. I guarantee you, that's not gonna happen.
All right, what is gonna happen? What you said? We're gonna get Psycho Ghidorah? Is that your theory?
That's another podcast entirely.
All right, so
that's a fucking Godzilla vs Kong speculation. We haven't even reached the climax of this one.
Oh, you think Godzilla vs Kong? I'm thinking of like what's happening past Godzilla vs Kong. I don't care what's confirmed or not. I feel like, well, there's probably something after that. I'm like, shit. Ghidorah coming back.
It depends if Godzilla vs. Kong makes its money's worth, but yeah. So yeah, they all go back. The Monarch operatives go back to Castle Bravo. They're intercepted by the military, who are already there, and they're kind of debriefing the whole situation. All 17 plus kaijus are out, and they are destroying the goddamn planet.
I will say this little space in between, like when Godzilla's kind of asleep, it's despite all the exposition, rewatching it's real boring.
Yeah.
It's not enthralling stuff to like rewatch, you know?
Yeah.
It's all exposition.
Yeah. As they're going through, they kind of mention, well, shit, we kind of killed the only monster that could fight Ghidorah. So yeah, Mark is now buggering off to try and find Emma and Madison. Emma and Madison are freaking out a little bit because
furious typing intensifies.
Because Ghidorah isn't what they were expecting. They were like, oh god, no. What have we done? And yeah, as Mark leaves to attempt to find him, where I have to ask, where would he start? But as he's about to leave, Mothra intercepts, and everyone is, kind of in awe. And then it's suddenly revealed that Godzilla is still alive, that she found him. And so they concoct a plan to give Godzilla a warhead to try and wake him up and get him back into the fray of things. So yeah, they go off into the Hollow Earth, where it's discovered that Godzilla's lair is actually a hidden city, which is something that's never been done in the previous films. Like, Godzilla just kind of sleeps at the bottom of the ocean, but here Mike actually gave him his own temple, which I think is really good, which really saddens me about what's going to happen next. So, they realize they can't send in a warhead, so someone has to go in there and set it off manually. Only problem is they go in, they can't come back because the radiation is just too much. So it's essentially a suicide mission. Serizawa insists. He goes in and sacrifices himself to wake up Godzilla.
It's probably one of the best scenes in this whole MonsterVerse.
Yeah, definitely one of the better scenes in
There's of cinematography and music and like just emotional punch.
Yeah.
When you consider his name being Serizawa, who that originally was.
Yeah. You know, originally in the script, he was supposed to say goodbye, old friend in English, but as they were doing the script reading, he said it in Japanese instead.
Hey, Lee, what you typing there?
Oh, sorry, my friend was messaging me about his mom hurting him by mistake.
No, it's fine. We only heard every single keyboard type.
My bad. But let's go on. Back to the theory.
It's not a theory, but okay.
I know.
Anyway, so yeah, so they kept that instead. Him saying it in Japanese rather than English, goodbye, old friend. So yeah, he stands there touching Godzilla, and then the bomb goes off. And something that I learned through the commentary as well. Apparently, Bear McCreary held back the original theme for Old Rivals, and Rebirth is the first time we actually hear the full original theme, like end to end. So yeah, Godzilla rises up. He lets out his dominance display. Looks down at the humans and then buggers off to Boston. Sorry, David?
Yeah, no, like no, I was gonna say something, but before you were cutting off, that was a great scene. I heard some people say, and it is kind of funny, like he's juiced up, and he just like, let's disperse some energy into the sky.
Yeah.
Oh, now I remember Imagine if the logic that the military bloke was using in 2014 was true, and they accidentally killed him with the force of the blast of the nuke.
Oh no! But actually, that kind of like confirms now that.
Wait, did you say the logic in
In 2014, they're gonna try to nuke the monsters, and they say that, and there's like, but they feed on radiation, and they're like, yeah, but like the force of the blast will kill them, right? Imagine if that was true. No, imagine if that was true. Oh god! Oh fuck! Oh god! Oh fuck!
Like, he should be coming up any moment now. You just see pieces of Godzilla floating up. It's like, oh no.
Oh god! Oh fuck! Oh god!
He'll regenerate. Just put him back. He'll regenerate.
Dude, this isn't the anime Godzilla. Stop.
Hey guys, I have a solution. A flex tape.
Oh, God.
Flex tape fixes everything.
Yeah. Anyway, Godzilla heads to Boston because in Boston, Madison escapes the eco-terrorists and steals the Orca. And then
that's something we have to talk about. The fact that these damn eco-terrorists let their super weapon unguarded and a child took it.
A 15-year-old child. You proud of yourself, Nathan?
I'm sorry, what?
Are you proud of yourself, Nathan?
What did I do?
You know what you did.
I'm so lost right now. I zoned out.
Sorry, I phrased that terribly. Just like we've mentioned every podcast how your brother is in love with Millie Bobby Brown. And I felt like I might as well mention it this time. It has nothing to add to anything, but like it feels weird to not say it. You proud of your brother?
I mean, don't look at her. Look at me. You're temporary, but the power of Godzilla is forever.
That's some true shit.
True.
Go on, David.
All right, so
happiness is submission to Godzilla.
Yes. Anyway, so she sets off the Orca. All the other Titans just stop, but Ghidorah and Godzilla are heading towards Boston. And briefly, you could hear Ghidorah's flying sound effect, which is pretty prevalent in the Showa films. But no, David, you do it. Yes, that. But yeah, anyway, Ghidorah touches down in Boston. He tries to fry Millie Bobby Brown, but then Godzilla just comes in last minute with full theme and a freaking squadron of fighter jets following him, which is actually a really good shot. So yeah, they do battle in Boston, and this is where the cutaways start getting a little more noticeable.
They are noticeable, but I will say I will give them credit that unlike 2014, they cut away a lot, but the moments between monster shots are not that long. Like they only cut away for maybe like 2-3 minutes, and in 2014 it could be up to 5. It could have been like 5, 6, 7 minutes between monster scenes.
But giving a point to 2014, when it cuts away to from the monster action back to the human elements, they do this thing called cut on action, where movement.
What is that? Oh my god!
It's not me, I swear to God.
Yeah, that's totally Nathan. All right,
so should we just stop talking and like see what it is? Well, when he says him, do you mean it was his voice? Like he did that with his mouth somehow?
Yes, I did that.
Shut up, Nathan.
He's really good at like that movie static too. Like Nathan's a damn pro.
Jesus Christ. What do we devolve into?
I hope that like someone's like, you know, out of the 3 people who are gonna hear this thing in full, that like that just comes like out of the blue as like an audio assault, just like
my ears. All right. Anyway, Godzilla and Ghidorah do battle. Mothra and Rodan come in, and Rodan is strangely on Ghidorah's side. Because back in previous films, he's usually on Godzilla's side.
Mothra?
Okay, but wait, do you feel like the context though in this movie it makes sense that he'd be on Ghidorah's side?
Yeah, because they kind of talk about how Rodan's loyalty lies on who is the new alpha, and as of that moment, Ghidorah was still the alpha.
I think maybe it's actually a case of, I don't know what they said, but the way I saw it was now the alphas call there's two alphas out there, right?
Yeah.
And I think it's a case of like the other monsters are probably on the like quote unquote on the fence, right?
Yeah.
But they're just heading there because they want to see who the new alpha is. Rodan was personally defeated by King Ghidorah, and that's why his loyalty was to King Ghidorah.
Yeah, true. So, yeah, Rodan damaged Mothra pretty severely to the point where she had to tap out pretty early. Godzilla and Ghidorah were just going at it. There is this one
tapped out.
Yeah, I mean, after she impales Rodan with her thorax, she was just kind of out of it. I mean, right after that scene, the first time we see her, right after that, she commits suicide. She
doesn't commit suicide.
She commits Sudoku.
Murdered.
Dude,
She was murdered.
She flew straight at Ghidorah with no plan. What was she gonna do?
No plan.
Hey,
you don't know how she thinks, man. She could have had a plan. Maybe her death was to motivate Godzilla.
Banzai!
But yeah, Godzilla, Rodan, Mothra, and Ghidorah, they just went at it.
Holding hands.
Ghidorah, Godzilla definitely had an advantage over Ghidorah, but then Ghidorah pulled a trump card by eating a power transformer. Which, yeah.
You see Godzilla's eyes go like, oh shit.
Yeah, the resulting shot is epic. I just wished he gained that ability in a more natural way rather than eating a goddamn power transformer.
How great would have been if, you know, when he starts sucking the energy out of Godzilla?
Yeah.
Near the end of the fight? Imagine if that's what let him do that.
Or maybe he always had that ability. Yeah. Anyway,
I mean, and the irony is, it's a great shot. It's also just a very convenient way to have them not need to edit all those jets doing things.
Yeah, true. Like, Ghidorah takes out a good number of allied aircraft in that shot. Anyway, so Godzilla and Ghidorah, they're like on the fritz right now. They're almost at their limit. Godzilla's about to explode because that atomic bomb did a little too well of a job juicing him up. But yeah, Ghidorah just literally grabs him, flies him to the upper atmosphere, and drops him.
I'm really confused about that, though.
Why?
Because he was about to explode, right?
Yeah.
Because he was so infused with energy, and then he gets more energy. And then he does explode.
I think the idea was Mothra's dust kind of stabilized him in a way, but in doing so, enabled him to go burning.
That still makes no sense to me because that's like arguably a lot of power.
I mean,
the nuclear pulse. That's a lot of power. I've got so.
Yeah, I don't know, David. Can you make sense of it?
Of that, sorry, I just got a call. Of that, like the power transplant scene.
Yeah, so after Godzilla gets hit with the nuke, and then Mothra's dust kind of, I want to say neutralizes him in a way.
No, I think the whole fight he was supercharged. But the Mothra's dust is basically what allowed him to go into burning. That was the idea. Because when the dust falls on him, his skin starts turning red.
Yeah.
I think the idea is he would be supercharged. I guess the idea at the end is like it was even bigger than it would normally be.
Yeah.
Like maybe a normal burning Godzilla in this universe, if he wasn't nuked first, is not as like powerful. But this time it's here's an idea. This has happened before, but usually even super powerful Godzilla, the burning Godzilla, could defeat King Ghidorah but never truly kill him. But with the human assistance of the nuke that gave him the energy boost, plus Mothra dying and absorbing that energy, allowed him to create that create a blast strong enough to vaporize King Ghidorah
Yeah,
completely.
I'll sleep with that. So yeah, Mothra dies, lends her energy to Godzilla. Godzilla goes burning, and then kills Ghidorah. And yeah, final shot. Godzilla establishes himself as the alpha, and yeah, the end.
King Kong comes out of the mist, beating his chest. Godzilla looks at Kong. Nuclear pulse. Skeleton Kong.
Wait, what? No, I thought it was going to be continued. And then, then Godzilla versus Kong, it's going to start from the end of Godzilla King of the Monsters. It's been great. But, there's also that. But, guys, we just said end, but this isn't the end. Talk about the after credit scene for us, David. I want you to do it.
Because I just watched that end credit scene. They find, basically, the Jonah find, they well, I guess fishermen found the head of Kevin, brought it up because they actually mentioned that there's no fish in the ocean in the area anymore, so they're broke
because of the oxygen destroyer.
Yeah.
Brave New World, my friend.
Go on.
David?
I think he died.
All right, well, since David's dead, we'll be taking over. So, for sure.
Hello? Excuse me? The fuck?
Yeah.
What happened?
David, what happened?
He died, and then he came back to life, reincarnated as a radio. Oh, what the fuck?
My country went to garbage. I was talking that whole time.
Bailed.
The last thing we heard was something about fishermen say they're broke because the oxygen destroyer killed all the fish.
I said so they found Kevin's head, they brought it aboard, and there's Jonah with this fucking they're auctioning it off.
Daniel?
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah.
You can't hear?
Hello?
Nathan?
Can you hear Nathan? Oh, for fuck's sakes. This whole podcast has gone to shit.
Calm down, we're almost done. Nathan?
Hello?
Nathaniel?
Who's Nathaniel?
You, nigga. What? You heard us the whole time. Are you fucking with us?
Alright, David, cap it off.
So he buys the head for $250, and then that's it. And you just saw a very average monster movie.
All right, wait. So, and that's what happened. Those are all the events we ran through. But before we give our general feelings for how we felt the movie, I was going to talk about this scene in general because this is what we're talking about a bit earlier. What's he gonna do with the head? You guys take it
that's another podcast. We'll do that another time.
What do you mean? That's
Hello? Oh God.
Godzilla vs. Kong.
All right, sorry about that. You guys just all cut out for some reason, so I had to. Yeah.
I gotta say the same. Shut up.
It's not even Ghidorah.
All right, everyone, stop. Let Lee speak.
What the fuck are these sounds? David, I will fly to Texas and I will beat your ass. I swear to God. But yeah, man. So I feel like now that Jonah has the head, honestly, God, he can do a few things with it. But the main thing he did was he was an eco-terrorist, but he's known on the black market for selling Taijutsu. So I feel like, is he gonna sell it, or the more interesting theory, he used it to revive Ghidorah somehow? Because what's the word? I don't know the lower time Mecha Ghidorah, but you guys are telling me you don't think that's gonna be what's gonna happen?
Yeah, because with Mecha King Ghidorah, only one of his heads fly off. Most of his body is intact. His middle head is blown off, and most of his body parts are also pretty damaged. And basically, people from the future come take his body and add the mechanical parts.
Okay, so it's kind of like the reverse of what happened. Most of Ghidorah is there, but then they add on some of the metal to make room for it. But this time we just got a head, so it'd be it could be a new Ghidorah, Robot King Ghidorah.
Actually, can I mention something funny that I've heard in the theater when we first went to see Godzilla, King of the Monsters?
Yeah.
After the end credits, as we were shuffling out, I overheard this guy in front of us going, and in the next one, they're gonna give it 4 heads.
Ah, yes.
I'm just looking at him like, yeah, you're not a fan. You know jack shit.
Nigga, you don't know. You don't know.
Or he's a genius.
Yeah,
David, shut the fuck up.
that'll be something else. Imagine like.
Just raise the stakes. Just keep giving him more heads.
Wait, guys, how about this? From the future, we get like not a completely robotic King Ghidorah, but then like Jonah sells them the head, so now it's like it's 4 heads, 3 of them robotic, 1 of them is organic. Yeah.
Here's the thing with the Mecha King
Yes.
Ghidorah.
Oh my god, no. Because the rest, he has the one head. The one head's Kevin. So like the whole head regenerates the body, but now they're all Kevin.
Yes.
Automatically the best King Ghidorah yet. He'll be
Arguably, yeah.
Beat bud. He'll be your beat bud.
Word. But that's all I gotta say about this head. I really hope it's Mecha King Ghidorah. I know you're all saying no, but like that's what I want to see in the movie after Godzilla vs Kong if it gets me.
Here's one thing about that though. Toho is very specific when it comes to their designs. Like,
Yeah.
they basically like get one of the rules for when they designed Ghidorah. He had to have 2 tails. He had to have 2 tongues in each mouth, or a forked tongue. Whoops.
I mean, granted, these guys also greenlit Super Mecha King Ghidorah in that small puppet show that they had. Godzilla, I think it was
Hyper Mecha King Ghidorah.
Yeah, that.
I was like,
Where-
Mecha King Ghidorah.
No, Hyper Mecha King Ghidorah is King Ghidorah, but like all the heads are metal.
Yeah, he's all metal. Yeah.
But actually, I know you said it was very specific with the designs, but like if they wanted to keep like the OG one intact, because for what you guys are telling me, it's like he was mostly still Ghidorah. They can make it so like if they find some way to revive the head, because the head still has the brain in it. I know it's not hard, but like what if he's slowly regrowing from the head, but because he's never done it before, it's not working as fast, or he's much weaker. So Jonah's like, we must roboticize the rest of him, so we can still get the design somehow.
Yeah. Actually,
Does that make me want the heads of the robot?
I mean, in the ending for King of the Monsters, the metal head was still alive, even though all of the body was
Metalhead.
Yeah, the middle head. No, the middle
was
head.
just
Middle head. As in
Oh,
the
I
one
thought you
that
said
Godzilla
metal
was
head.
eating and then vaporized. It was still alive despite all of the body being completely obliterated. So
Once again, kind of cartoonish.
yeah,
That scene was very animated looking anyway.
yeah. Oh,
Like
actually,
Godzilla, the inside of Godzilla's mouth was like way too white.
you guys want to hear something a little tragic?
Sure.
In the commentary, they were kind of expressing how, oh my god, we were under a lot of pressure on how Godzilla should kill King Ghidorah because Gareth Edwards had such a cool death for the
Oh yeah,
female
they're like,
Muto.
we have to find a way to top it, or at least come equal to it.
So the end result was having Godzilla humiliate Ghidorah by eating him and then vaporizing him, which
Not as cool. Not as cool as they fucking King Konged. Fucking
You know, originally Godzilla was supposed to just rip the Muto's jaw. He wasn't supposed to down nuke breath its throat.
Yeah.
That show's awesome.
That shit is so amazing.
Yeah.
Because it's like a spectacle, but it's very subtle, right?
Yeah.
It's what they did.
Hey
Like,
guys.
like he didn't need to fucking explode.
Yeah. You know what? Let's try and wrap this up real quick. We're almost at 3 p.m.
Yeah, so I guess like what our final thoughts on the movies? Who would like to go first?
Actually, Lee, since you're the guest, you go first.
Alright then. Watching this movie once, someone was like, yo, that was great. And I thought about it, it's like a lot of shit really didn't need to be here, but then I saw it again and said, it's still like an enjoyable kind of cinematic experience. So I feel like it was an alright movie. Like I don't hate it. I have like some issues here and there though, but I'm more interested to see like what they're gonna do more. Like in the I don't know what you call this universe.
Monsterverse.
The Monsterverse.
The Monsterverse, yes. I want to see what they do. Well, I suppose the movie's alright, but I think it's decent. Maybe like I'll give it like I don't know, maybe like a 6.8 out of 10, which I think is a fair score to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are my thoughts.
Nathan, you're up.
9.5 out of 10.
Kill yourself.
I'm just kidding. No.
Not even
See,
I would
last
give
time
that
I was
score.
pissed off. Last time I was pissed off at it, and I gave it like a 6.5, 7 out of 10. Y'all remember the last time we attempted the podcast and I gave it that?
Yeah.
Because you fell asleep.
Well, my score went up again. It's like an 8 out of 10.
Care to elaborate?
It's just, dumb schlock, and I can't really complain because that's the majority of the Godzilla franchise, so, and it's on the better end of the spectrum. I'm not going to give it a 9 out of 10 because only 2 Godzilla movies have a 9 out of 10, and that would be Godzilla 1985 and the original 54 movie.
Wait, would you say it's one of the top 5?
54 is a 10, my guy.
Yeah.
54 is a 10. Make no mistake.
David, if you don't mind, I'm going to go before you because I'm pretty sure you have multiple sentences to cite. But, yeah, personally, first reaction, genuine confusion and a little bit of saltiness to the side. But, I do feel like this film is the rare case of if you watch it more than once, you tend to like it more as you go along. And, yeah, I do accept it for what it is, but I do kind of think about what it could have been. The successful sequel to 2014, in terms of tone, is definitely very different. It's definitely not anywhere close to what Gareth Edwards probably would have done, but overall, I liked some of the fan service. I think the monsters are absolutely fantastic. The human characters, I don't hate. I hate the antagonists, but I'm fairly alright with the protagonists. And the mythology of the film, furthering, adding to the Godzilla mythos is also very welcoming. Overall, I'd give it a 7 out of 10. Not the best, but would watch again. Yeah. David, you're up. Oh wait, wait, hold up. All right, go.
You hated Alan Jonah?
No, I didn't hate Alan Jonah. I just didn't like Emma.
Oh, okay. I agree with you. All right, move on.
So first seeing it, I was pretty conflicted because on one hand it was honestly pretty disappointing. On the other hand, there was a certain joy just having it off my shoulders, like just the build up being done with, and like with the hype train, it's a bit overbearing. Rewatching it, having seen it twice and just watched it now, it's a bit more enjoyable, but admittedly, it lacks a lot of the just core features as a movie, right? And I know a lot of Godzilla movies do that too, but I mean, it's not exactly like it's an excuse, We as fans tend to gravitate towards the better Godzilla movies anyway, I feel.
Yeah.
No, what are you talking about? Godzilla's Revenge is top tier of the franchise.
Of course.
Nathan, I'm so close to muting you right now.
And Godzilla 1998, that was a visionary execution.
That's a podcast for another day.
Be gone, thought.
No, it's not. It's a podcast for never.
It's a podcast. I mean, it's already a podcast.
Anyway. It's a fun enough romp, but it's a fun enough romp, but I'm not rushing to see it again. The irony is, it's technically, I'd say it's like a 5 out of 10, but because like I do love Godzilla, I like seeing the monster do his thing. I like seeing the other monsters do their thing. So there's a bias there. So I give it a 6.
Lovely. And yeah, you go, Lee. You go.
Oh no, I thought we were all done. So I thought the podcast was the end right here, right now.
Oh no, yeah, we're done. Yeah.
All right, guys, thanks for tuning in to the podcast.
Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
I really think I made the show. You guys should give me all your money. It'd be great.
Dude, YouTube doesn't give money anymore. It just takes it.
Yes, it does. It's not hard to get money.
Sucks cock.
And that's actually a podcast for another day. We'll see you guys next time.
Alright, thank you all for
Roll
watching.
out.
See you all. Be sure to check out Nathan and Lee's YouTube channels down in the links
Don't
below.
check out my YouTube channel.
Well,
every day.
Yeah, check out my YouTube channel. It's great.
Yeah. And yeah, see you all next time.